How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Offseason, the podcast that keeps you entertained all off-season long. I'm Hunter, joined by Brodie and Trevor. I want to kick off the show just letting you know there's a link in the description where you can submit your stories, submit your topics, submit just random questions, whatever you want to do. And that's where we get all of the content for this show. So we don't talk about news. We don't talk about all of that. That's what our other podcasts are for. This is just to keep you entertained. You know, the offseason can be long and boring sometimes. And that's what we're here for. That's also what Imposter Disc Golf is here for. The Imposter Disc Golf reality series, episode 3 drops tomorrow night. After the story and some of the guessing games and stuff we're about to play, we're actually going to do a little bit of an episode 1 and 2 recap. So I'll make sure to warn you in case you haven't watched those episodes yet, so you don't get any spoilers or anything. But we got a fun show ahead of us. And yeah, the offseason's back.
Can I ask a running question real quick? Since you
Absolutely. That's what this is for.
So I saw that the New York Marathon just happened. MasterCard did some. Did you guys see this? MasterCard's promotion that they did?
No.
So they had a bunch of influencers, like running influencers, come out and kind of, do some, social media posts or whatever. And these were all people that were going to run the New York Marathon, right?
Okay.
They had them start 1 hour before the elites. So there was no one on the course, not really that many people probably like out there cheering. It was just them. I think the elites ended up passing them around like mile 10 or mile 11.
Yeah.
But my question to you guys is that something that you take the money out of it? Because obviously if MasterCard's like, hey, we want you guys to run the New York Marathon, pay you $20,000 to do it. If there was not any money involved and it was simply just, hey, come run the New York Marathon, but you had to do it an hour before everyone else, would you still do it?
Yeah. Because
it's so hard to get into.
Well, after the first, for my pace, like 6 or 7 miles, like after my first 10K, I'm in the race.
Well, no, the elites go out way before everyone else too, Hunter.
Oh, so how big's the gap behind them?
They ran.
Like,
so
at what point are people around me? I guess I'm asking.
You're running through New York City, though. It's not like it's boring.
No, but there's no one on the course yet. Nothing's set up. You're running an hour.
I would do it just because it's super hard to get into that race.
Well, but if you want to go do that, just go run 26 miles around New York City.
So the
any day of the week.
Trevor, the question is, what if you had both? So what if you were already in the New York Marathon and MasterCard reached out and was like, hey.
Well, then no.
Well, if they're paying me, of course. But if they're not paying me,
then what's the incentive at all at that point?
I don't know. I think some people might think it's cool to go out there before everyone else.
If you had already run the race before and you're like, ooh, this could be a different experience to like run it empty, sure. But like, no, if I hadn't.
I wouldn't.
No
chance.
I wonder if
so that makes a lot of sense because
beforehand.
I saw videos of people running like on the bridge and like be like, hey, like you got this, talking to the elite runners passing. I'm like, that's a really weird thing for a race to have like just random people go off before the elites, because like that's got to be so annoying. Like the cars drive by with like you got the car, the camera car, like all of that, and then you have the group of elite runners, and then you have the same for the elite women runners. I'm like, that'd be so annoying for them to have to like navigate through people. That makes sense, because I was wondering why I was seeing that. Random people getting passed by all the runners.
Yeah, and from what some people were saying that were at the course, they said it was very odd because no one really knew what was going on. So the elites hadn't, like, no one in the actual race had gone by. And so these people were just running the course by themselves. So, like, people weren't really cheering for you. Because
what was the point of it? Why did MasterCard do it? Like, why didn't they just get them in the race and have them just run?
That's a great question. I didn't dig too much into that, but I was just curious. I feel like if I was going to do the New York Marathon my first time, I'd want to experience
absolutely
the actual race of it. So
yeah, that's weird. That's very weird. We'll have, actually, I think that's going to start happening on the Pro Tour. They're going to send an MA4 card out first and then just let Calvin and them play through as the round goes on. That should really help pace of play. Just have a guy blowing up on hole like 7 out at New London, and then here comes the lead card through.
I mean, it kind of. Oh, okay.
It actually kind of does it the way we have the
Okay.
last cards going out. More or less. But okay,
Yeah.
let's get into our first story. Our first story of the offseason podcast comes from Gentry Carrier. He said, I have a story from a tournament we played back in September. The event was called Cow Days, and you could see the results if you want to see them for yourself, but it was a 2-round C tier that had a long lunch break in the middle because the town has a parade in between rounds. So the first round went as expected, and my play put me in solo first with a 2-stroke lead. We decided to travel back to my buddy's house during the long lunch break. They had lunch made for us at the course, so we ate quickly and then went on our way to his place. We chilled for a bit and then left his house with about 20 minutes to return to the course because it was only a 5-minute drive away. So that gave us plenty of time to get back and warm up, which that already questionable. 20 minutes, 5-minute drive. Is that really plenty of time to get back and warm up? 15 minutes to spare. I don't know.
Mentality.
Doesn't matter. Anyways, 5 minutes away, plenty of time to get back and warm up. We went an alternate route to try to avoid the parade. However, when we reached our turn, the worst possible thing happened. The parade was exiting the downtown area and turning onto the road we had just taken. The police had the entire street shut down, and we were stuck in traffic. We thought maybe the parade would break and let the traffic through, but of course they didn't, so we sat there for 10 minutes. You probably know where this story's headed, but it gets crazier. Now, we're going to be late, so we start brainstorming. The GPS has an alternate route, but it's 20 minutes of backtracking to the course, and we're only half a mile away the way the crow flies. We decided to pull over and walk the rest of the way.
Yeah.
So we had to take the road because a small river ran through town. So we took off literally running down the road trying to make it back in time and called my dad who was at the course and the tournament director who basically said there's nothing they could do. We kept on running back towards the course, making slow progress, and the entire town's traffic is backed up, and we decided maybe someone would give us a ride. So we started waving people down while continuing to run towards the course until finally a cool dude pulls over and gives us a ride back to the course. We end up being 8 minutes late getting back, but fortunately, the guy on our card happened to be my dad. He didn't start the hole because he was the only player on the card present, and we thanked the guy that gave us a ride, offered him some cash, jumped out of a truck, and ran back to our starting hole. My dad had prepared our drinks and bags were waiting for us, and he had just thrown his drive as we were sprinting up. So I grabbed a driver, chucked it without catching my breath, parked the 300-foot hole for a birdie, and I ended up winning the tournament even after being given a 2-stroke penalty for being late to the tee time. It was truly a wild ride, but it was a memory that will last forever with my friends and family.
That's just stuff stresses me out, bro. You're the type of guy that leaves for the airport when your flight departs in 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, first off, lot of preventable things. From the story I learned there was lunch at the course, so you didn't even have to go to your buddy's house. Why leave the course at all? Secondary thing, something PDGA illegal happened in here. I can't quite put my finger exactly what it is.
8 minutes?
But he was 8 minutes late.
They took a penalty.
His dad, they took the 2-stroke penalty, but you're supposed to get par plus 4.
What's the difference between missing your tee time? It's
because what should have happened, right?
I don't think he gets to play that hole.
That's what I think. That's what I'm thinking.
What's
it should have been more than. I got to look this up. It might not even matter. I got to look up the tournament here. Cow Days.
Yeah, I've only ever heard if you're not there in the allotted time, you are par plus 4 for every hole that you're not there when it's time for you to throw.
But it seems the problem here was his dad was the only other guy on the card.
So his dad could just play super slow.
Well, no, but his dad can't start without at least 2 other people. You can't have a card of less than 3. So really what I feel like should have happened is his dad should have been put onto a different card. And then...
No, but that's like a tournament director's nightmare to start.
That's what I'm saying.
Because aren't they doing shotgun probably?
Did he say what division he was in?
Well, that
Entry carrier. Let's find this guy.
I mean,
he won by 1. Yeah, so this is scandalous. This is scandalous. He won by 1 over Tracy Bottom.
I wonder if Tracy Bottom knows about what
I
all
don't
went
know.
down.
Let me view the hole scores here, because maybe he's the first hole.
He birdied the first hole.
So he took a 4 on hole 1, but I'm assuming that's with the 2-stroke penalty.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he never got a par plus 4. Never got a par plus 4. Let us know in the comments. Am I wrong, or is the tournament director wrong here? Because I feel like there should have been a par plus 4 situation somewhere in here. Somewhere in here. And if there was a par plus 4, 2 strokes, he loses by 1. Scandal.
I'm gonna see if I can just find a rule for missing a tee time.
Yeah, see? Well, is it a tee
They
time?
should've-
Is it
they
shotgun
should've-
start?
Late arrivals. Shotgun start. The 2-minute signal. No, okay. I need actual late arrival. Where does it say about? I don't. The PDGA rules. I need the simplified rules.
Oh no, you need the real rules for this one.
Okay. That's about throwing during the 2-minute warning. Okay, here we go. Players who are absent for their starting hole or subsequent hole have committed misplay. If a complete round is missed, disqualify. Late arriving players for either shotgun or tee time rounds are responsible for checking with the TD to learn their correct starting group, blah, blah, blah. Failure to do so is a misplay.
So misplay would just be the 2-stroke penalty, right? So where is par plus 4 come in? Is that only tee time?
Well, I mean, if he shows up a half hour late, he has.
Okay, this says late to the starting hole. If a player is not present
Absent
at the starting hole for the first 5 minutes leading up to their tee time, they will receive a 2-stroke penalty.
So the types of misplays, there's absent. If a player is not present at the start of the round for their assigned group, the player is considered absent and does not play the hole. If that happens, you get a score of par plus 4 for each hole not played. Then there's also missing. If a player was present and then now is missing when it's their turn to throw, the player is given 30 seconds to rejoin. They're missing for that time.
Like
they're absent and get par plus 4.
So where's the two penalty come in?
This late arriving players versus absent thing is very interesting because
So you get like a 5-minute buffer. Is it?
Well, no, because the late arriving, it just says, or the late arriving says it's a misplay, right?
No, late
misplay,
arriving says you just have to check in with blah blah blah.
But it's a misplay if you don't do that.
Yeah, if you don't do that, it's a misplay.
So what is late arriving? Is it a 2-stroke penalty if you just late arrive?
There's no associated thing here.
That is interesting, huh? Because where's the 2-stroke penalty? I'm trying to figure out
how
did they get to 2-stroke penalty?
The group is wrong starting hole. The group has begun. Play on a hole. If any player
player who are absent for their starting hole or any subsequent hole have committed a misplay. If a player's round is missed and the player does not finish the round, they may yeah. So it's a misplay.
Yeah, I'm really confused as to where any rules suggest a 2-stroke penalty.
Yeah, I mean, because a misplay, I'm trying to see if there's 2-stroke anywhere on misplay. No, 2-stroke is never on misplay because it just comes to failure to complete a hole, absent, missing, and all 3 of those are. Oh, here you go. Failure to complete a hole. The player has finished the round or thrown a hole without having completed the previous hole. Score for a misplayed hole is the number of throws made plus 1 for completing the hole plus 2 penalty throws for the misplay. But that's failure to complete a hole. That's the only 2 penalty throws.
Yeah.
Absent and missing are both par plus 4. So if he only got a 2-stroke penty, he needs the win removed.
We might need to rewrite the history books here.
He needs the win removed. Really, whoever came in second, what did I say the second place guy's name was?
Something Bottom. Just remember his last name was Bottom.
Tracy Bottom.
Tracy Bottom.
Tracy Bottom, you need to appeal to the PDGA
He's a winner in my books. I'll always remember Tracy Bottom.
Tracy Bottom should have won by 1, and Gentry should be tied with his brother, Dalton Carrier.
NBA rig.
And second is Tracy Bottom the dad. Tracy Bottom might be the dad. This could be a whole family scandal.
Wait. Yeah, wait. Do they have the same last name?
No, Gentry Carrier and Dalton Carrier have the same last name, it was him or it was his buddy? Oh, his buddy might be Tracy. Dalton might be the dad.
I mean, yeah, all things forgiven if his buddy, who is also late, is the guy that lost by 1. Who came in third?
Dalton Carrier, the
by
dad.
How much?
2.
And what about fourth?
Tied.
What about fourth?
William Jewell lost by 4. So the dad and the son might have to go to a playoff if Tracy Bottom's also the guy. Is Tracy Bottom's also the guy that was late?
This is one of those
then
cold
we
cases
got a playoff situation between Dalton Carrier and Gentry. But
this
then Dalton would have I don't know, because then Dalton would have also had a misplay because he would have waited too long.
And let's think about the butterfly effect,
team.
right? Like you take that part +4, you might just go bogeys out, man. You might go bottoms up.
You know, there is
Tracy
a world
Bottoms.
where everyone deserved to get penalized in that situation, and you get back to Gentry winning.
Well, isn't it? Aren't you guys taking? You're not taking into account that he birdied the first hole, so it's actually 5 shots.
Oh, you're right. Par plus 4.
Oh my gosh.
It's 5
shots.
shots.
Oh my gosh.
So he's at 1 over.
The 5 shot.
Tracy
swing.
Bottom.
Dude,
Yeah.
The dude
This
in
could
fourth
be-
could have won.
William Jewell might be in this thing. William Jewell might have needed to be in a playoff here. There could have been a 4-way playoff between William Jewell, Gentry Carrier, Tracy Bottom, and Dalton. Something illegal happened there. I don't know.
We're all
PDGA, if you're
certified
listening,
officials,
figure that
guys.
out.
We're all certified officials. Just
Yeah,
keep
we
that in
all
mind.
passed the test. We all passed the test. I
They'll
don't know
took
what
the
to tell you.
exam.
So I thought that was interesting, mainly because
That
I read it,
is
and as soon as I read it, I was like, very funny story.
Something
Also, can't be right. Something's wrong
fishy
here.
going on here.
Yeah, the only thing I
Something
thought
fishy.
of that story was like how pissed I would be because the backups are gonna be insane because you just had some groups not play for 8 minutes.
Well, that's another thing
Yeah.
is we don't know. Yeah, we don't know if it's tea time or not because like if he was lead card, I almost find it.
Oh,
It could be very likely.
It was
that,
an MA1 or MA2.
I think it's very likely that he was lead card tea time, which would mean nobody would have known.
no, because there was 2 rounds, so it was
I was just
shotgun.
saying, it has to be shotgun for 2 rounds.
Has to be
Yeah.
shotgun
You can't do tea time for 2 rounds,
Why
right?
not?
because they also had a very big lunch break, and the course provided lunch. That's shotgun all day.
Yeah, that seems like everyone's ending at the
Oh,
same time.
yeah, 2-round 1-day tournament. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so
they had a
he's
long
just
lunch break for
on
the
some
parade.
random-
So the guy on, if he was on hole 1, the guys on 18 were like, "What the
They're
heck?"
probably
What is
pissed.
going on?
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
they were just super slow because they were the worst card.
Well, they also would have been in completely different divisions. They might have just not even
Yeah.
cared. They might have just
Yeah.
shown up and been like, I don't.
Let
who
him play
cares,
through.
man? Yeah, go ahead.
Interesting stuff.
Anyways, let us know in the comments what should have happened there. Let us know there.
It
But
could be jail
all right,
time.
it's time to get into the disc golf guessing games. This is the game where y'all guess the ratings of these players. We're gonna start it off with just pictures. I have some videos that have been submitted too. If you guys want to be a part of this, if you want to submit your own pictures or videos for Brodie and Trevor to guess your rating, send them over to hunter@foundationdiscs.com. Just send me a picture or a video and then your PDGA number or a link to your profile. And that's how we're going to run this thing. Reminder, and I might change the rules here by accident, but this is how I remember it going. One of you will go first. You'll get to say what division you think the player's in. If you get the division right, just by looking at it, then the how far off of your ratings is divided by 2. Fewest points wins. I'm gonna keep the standings this year so we know the overall actual winner. But yeah. Do we know who won last year? Do we have a feeling of who won last year?
I think Trevor probably.
No
Okay.
idea.
So Trevor, do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Yeah, I don't really think there's an advantage going second. So, all right. Let's go ahead and pull up this first person. So this is Zachary Hips. He is from Hopewell,
Hips. How
Virginia.
ironic.
What division do you think he plays in?
Zachary Hips could probably use a little more hips in this throw.
Trevor, I believe you said you're gonna go first.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
we guess the division and guess the rating?
Guess
Is
the
that-
division,
Yeah.
then I'll give you a few more stats,
Okay.
and then you guess their rating. But if you
And-
got the division correct, it divides your rating guess
And
by
with
2.
the rating, we
that's right.
text it, but this one we could just say it.
Yeah, this one you can say.
there's not
Rating,
really-
you'll text me because I'm not telling you right or wrong.
Yeah.
Y'all can choose to be in the same
Well,
division.
there
whatever.
are some major clues here because he does have like disc golf shoes. He's wearing a very disc golf outfit, but here's what's interesting is he has that stack of discs off to the side, which I feel like is a red herring because it makes you think, oh, he doesn't have a bag. But this guy has disc golf shoes and is wearing a polo and what looks to be a Discraft hat. He definitely has a bag. So I'm wondering if he's just ripping a bunch off the first tee or something.
Yeah, but
Like, because there's no way that you have disc golf shoes and not a disc golf bag, right?
There's
Surely.
always a way.
You also,
Yeah.
his grip looks absolutely bizarre on that disc. The form does not look great. I'm going MA3.
Okay,
yeah,
Brodie?
I would. I
Could be
would,
MA4.
I would say that you did see the discs over there, which I also noticed because initially I was thinking, okay, this guy doesn't have a bag.
There's just no way.
He's just going out with the discs he has. But you made a good point in that he probably has a bag, and these are just discs that he's throwing off the first tee, which you can't really see the tee sign there.
I can't see the number.
But I will say, if you're a good player, you're not putting those discs on the ground. You're holding them all in your left hand, and you're throwing. So
I'd throw them on the ground. But I'm not.
You said if you're a good player.
That's a
so
good point. I guess I just told myself.
yeah,
I mean, how many discs are you holding at once? Like if you had like
if you're warming up, if it looks like, why else would you throw a bunch like this? I think you're just warming up.
If I'm warming up for the sake of warming up in a field, but if I'm like, a lot of guys throw multiple off the first, not because they're warming up, but because they just want to throw multiple
I guess y'all.
discs.
So Brodie's thinking this is warm up pre-tournament. Trevor thinks this is just this
right.
guy's out
If
for
it's
a
a
casual
tournament,
round.
I understand, but like a lot of times you're just like, I want to see what this disc does.
I
You're
mean,
thinking the
You
mind
are
of the
now,
ham.
you are now
Polo.
implying that he's wearing a polo to a casual round, Trevor.
Yeah,
That
which
happens all the time.
Happen.
I'm going. I think MA3 is a good bet here because I think
Okay.
MA4. It's got. MA3.
MA4
All right,
didn't exist when I was growing up.
Zachary Hips is an MA2 player.
Oh my god.
He has been playing he has a PDGA member for 2 years, 2024 and 2025. He has played in 10 career events, and he has 4 career wins.
What?
I mean, this guy's playing in Idaho or somewhere.
Well, no, his putting
Virginia.
is probably lights out.
In Virginia.
He's
So text me
Okay.
what you think his rating is.
Well, I just have to text it, and then Brodie can say it.
True.
Oh,
True
true.
that.
Yeah. Golly, that was some interesting information. All right. My guess
Okay,
is
Trevor's
in.
locked in. Brodie?
Okay, he's won a couple times.
Last year we were so dialed at this game. I wonder what it's gonna be like this year.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go like 894. I'm gonna go almost 900.
Okay, both guesses are in. Neither are too close, but one is definitely closer than the other because Zachary Hips is 923.
Yes.
Oh
my gosh.
923 rated.
Oh my
me and
gosh.
Zach Hips are almost the same rating.
Oh my gosh, dude. With that,
923.
that backhand form looks
Trevor
This
crazy.
gets
has to
907.
This
Trevor
has
gets
to be
907. So
Got catfished.
Trevor's
that
at
has to be
16. Brodie's at 29
that
after the
has to be
first
a
player here.
troll. That has to be a troll.
All right, let's get this next picture up here. Here we go.
Oh, I know this
Um,
hole.
This will be
That's a
Brodie
sick
will
disc golf
go
hole.
first. This is Pierce Caulfield from Tennessee.
Wait, how do I know this hole? I've seen this
It's
hole.
very popular on social media.
Okay. All right, we're launching a nose up forehand here.
That Prodigy polo though.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's just I think you have to go MPO or MA1 here. Have to.
I agree. I totally agree.
You're throwing a forehand on this hole. Does that tell me anything?
Tells you he's probably forehand dominant.
Yeah. Let me
Is that
go.
a driver?
Let me go. I think this guy's proud. I'm gonna go MPO.
I think it's MA1.
MA1. Pierce is in MA2 currently. He's only played one tournament this year, but it seems that he moved into MA2 last year.
Oh my gosh.
He has been a PDGA member for 3 years. Not a certified official. 14 career events, 3 career wins. Brodie will text me the rating.
Good
he thinks,
gracious.
Trevor will try to speculate and figure it out. Oh, you know what? I do want to give one more fact about Pierce. His PDGA profile picture does appear to be a personal logo.
Oh my gosh, that's a great important fact to bring into the table here.
Oh, like he has his
He
own
made himself
logo.
a logo.
It would
Yeah.
appear that, yes.
That's very important journalism.
All right, Brodie's locked in.
Head
Trevor?
scratcher right here. This is a head scratcher.
MA2. What
You
is
would think this guy would float right around kind of where the last guy was. To be honest, he
Based off
just
his credentials.
moved up less wins though. I'm going right back to 907. Going
Trev's
right
at
back to it.
907.
I might be
Okay.
low though. I'm probably going to be low, but it's just like his
He's
resume.
got his own logo.
One of you's within 3.
Oh,
This is almost a perfect one here. And his rating is 933. Brodie Smith within 3.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow. Brodie came in at 930, almost sniped him.
I'm not gonna
So,
lie. He
that just flipped
just
this thing on
moved
its
up
head.
to intermediate, and he's 933 rated.
Last year he played a little MA3, a little MA2. He kind of was bouncing back and forth.
This guy's sandbagger.
I don't know.
You should be playing MA1 at that rating.
All right, let's go ahead and bring up our
Used
next
to have-
guy here.
I play MPO at that rating.
Oh, gosh.
This is Nathaniel Wilson out of Kentucky. What division are we dealing with here, boys? Trevor, you're first.
What are those shoes?
Not great.
Those don't look like typical disc golf shoes.
I like he's in a good position though on this backhand. And I want to say that looks like a latitude disc, which is not your casual disc. And it's probably just like a Halloween tournament. So
He's
I
got
don't really-
spectacles on.
I don't
miss
take
that.
any points away from that. I think this guy plays. Like I like his backhand form. Heck, I'm gonna say MPO. I'm gonna shoot from the hip here.
PO for Trev.
Really good haircut too.
This could be Double G's cousin.
I think this is MA1.
And for the first time in this show, we have someone who is correct, and that is Brodie Smith.
Dang.
He plays a little mix of both, but he's an MA1 player. He plays.
I think as soon as you play MPO, you are an MPO.
No,
no, this is an
Valerie
important fact. He
Manahano.
has
Valerie
not.
Manahano.
He has not
He
accepted
didn't play
cash.
MPO. She played
I think if he
MA1.
had accepted cash, I would say MPO, but he has not accepted cash, which tells me MA1. He also
I'm just
more
saying.
recently has played MA1 events. He played a few MPO at the beginning of the year, but he's playing MA1 to end the year out.
He's a
So I'm
jokester and he's a trickster.
locking in MA1. Trevor will guess first here, but Brodie will be getting his points divided by 2. So this is an important one here. So he's only been a PDGA member for 3 years. He is a certified official, and he has played 35 career events across those 3 years.
Oh.
How many
10.
wins?
0.
0.
I would tell you the wins if there were some, but there are not. 0 wins.
Okay. This is tough. All right. Men.
All right, Trevor is locked in. Mr. Smith?
All right. I think this guy is like right kind of in the middle here. So I'm gonna go. I think this guy's like a 952.
952 for Mr. Smith.
That ain't gonna do me much good.
Y'all are both right around each other. But Brodie gets to divide it by 2, obviously. So the farther y'all are away, the more that actually helps Brodie, which helps Brodie a lot because y'all are very far away. Nathaniel Wilson, actually his name that you would know him by, Trev, is Nathaniel Scott, PD Heiser Club member. 896 rated here. Our worst player to
So
date.
you're just trying to lie to us now, because like that's just an anomaly. I'm
I
just
didn't lie to
saying,
you.
like
I told you all the
Wait,
stats.
why is he
Told you all the
playing in
stats.
MA1?
that's what I'm
That
saying.
is the question.
You just knew we were gonna be way
That
off.
is the question.
You're a
That is the
punk.
question. But Brodie Smith got 28 points for that. Trevor, unfortunately, got 63.
So stupid.
But hey, you gotta just go. You gotta just, that's the game. You're playing the game. All right, let's bring up the next
we
guy
got too
here.
good at this last
got
year.
2
and
more.
He's
We
just,
got 2
he's
more.
just tricking us.
That is
got
an
2 more here.
athletic move right there.
This is Corbin Dean from Orlando, Florida. I believe Brodie gets to guess the division first.
Do we have an age on this guy?
I don't know.
Okay. He's just ripping this thing out in Florida in some
That's
some
very
random
good
field.
form.
Got that sawgrass underneath his shoes. Florida though. Florida.
UCF?
I mean, this is the best form we've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean,
So
this is
most
like
likely to be
absolutely pro form.
Yeah, most likely to be MPO, but is it just like a dude that played other sports and picked up the form quick and doesn't have everything else figured out? So he's MA1. But would Hunter do back-to-back MA1s? He would. MA1.
MA1 for Brodie. Trevor?
MPO.
MPO for
I
Trevor.
gotta
Both
try.
incorrect. He is MA2.
Hunter is just getting such a kick out of this, bro. He's getting such a kick out of this.
Some fun facts for you. So he actually, one fun fact is the majority of tournaments he has played are in MA1, but that is because he's a collegiate disc golfer. So when he actually goes out and plays solo dolo, he's in MA2. MA2 isn't available at college disc golf. So
what college
this year
for?
UCF, it looks like.
I don't know. I would imagine UCF is playing a lot of
on his
Florida
shirt
tournaments there.
You can actually read that. It's so blurry.
Yeah, it is pretty blurry, but it looks like UCF. I mean, that's
what
my
are you
best
talking
guess.
about?
I don't think it really matters unless I can tell y'all the team he plays for if I can find it. If you want to know, if you feel like that'll help you.
I don't know. I'm just curious.
Okay, if you feel like it'll help you, I can find him.
Does UCF have a disc golf team? That'd be a good place to start.
UCF. He plays for UCF.
Oh, eat your carrots.
Okay. So, collegiate disc golfer, plays for UCF, certified official, 16 career events, has been a PDGA member for 2 years, MA2. I believe Brodie will text me first. Corbin's rating. Corbin's rating.
I mean, this is
I know exactly where I'm going with this one.
I'm going. Oh wait. I'm going. I think I'm doing this. Bang.
Okay, Brodie Smith is in. Trevor.
Because does college skew to increase your rating or decrease?
Bad.
Or hurt your rating?
912.
912 for Trevor.
I thought about going to 907 again. I was about to fire it again. Third time's the charm. It's not working today.
Unfortunately, both of you are far off. And one's just slightly farther off. Because Corbin, 859. Yeah. That might be the best power pocket of an 800 rated player of all time.
Oh
what
my god!
Is that? Is he?
Why are you playing MA2? Just because you're embarrassed to play MA3? Like,
can he just not putt?
I don't know, man. I saw that picture and then I clicked on his PGA profile and I was like, wow, that'll get him. That'll get him quick.
Yeah, Hunter's out for blood. I'm not guessing based on any reason the rest of the season.
A couple holes. I
don't know. Maybe this was a post picture.
The shoes
Maybe
were
he
kind
just
of
was
a giveaway
recreating where
then.
he's seen people get and stopped there. I don't know.
Oh gosh.
All right, well, we got one final one.
Wait, what
it's not
the
impossible.
heck? Where was Brodie's guess at?
I said
sorry. Brodie was 900 on the dot.
Oh my gosh.
So he beat you by 12 there.
Well, I mean, I might as well just forfeit this
Brodie
episode.
is up by a lot this episode, but it's not impossible because if you get the division right and Brodie doesn't, a lot can happen here. This is Noah Hood from Lafayette, Indiana. I believe Trevor will guess the division first here.
Indiana.
This is giving guy who knows you're supposed to reach the disc back real straight, and so he does that part, but everything else looks a little iffy. Looks like he can maybe mash on it though. Like
absolutely
he's got
nice.
like that
going in a neighborhood.
He's got that like shot.
Field can't be that big.
He's got that shot put build. Yeah, you know what else has a neighborhood across from it? Winthrop Gold.
This is a 200-foot shot max.
No, I don't see a ton that I like here other than the definition in his forearms. So I would say this guy's MA3. This guy's MA3.
MA3 for Trev. Brodie.
That's what I was going to say, but just to make it interesting, I'll go MA2.
MA2 for Brodie.
It's probably going to work.
Noah Hood is MA3.
Yeah.
So it works in Trevor's favor. This could be interesting.
Oh, I'm going to dial him up. I'm going to dial it up right here.
So Noah Hood has been a member since 2020.
My gosh.
He has played 18 career events.
Okay.
2 career wins. Not a certified official. I believe Trevor will text me the rating.
I'm just going to close my eyes and start typing and hope that I find the right numbers, man.
Reminder, Trevor's will be divided by 2.
This is big. I need to get it on the dot. This is good though. MA3 is like that is the desert of ratings. Like you have no clue where people are gonna be. Been playing for this long and he's still in it, so he can only be. Okay. All right. I don't like what I
Okay.
just typed. I don't like it one bit.
Trevor's locked in. Brody,
I want to go 878.
878 for Brody.
Sick. I
Y'all,
just sent 879.
y'all guessed within one of each other.
Hopefully we're off by
Trevor
a
does
million.
get divided by 2. Trevor does get divided
Hopefully
by
we're
2.
off by a million. There's a chance he could be way lower than this. There's a very
However,
good-
unfortunately, this was the 2 closest guesses of the show because he's 881 rated. Fantastic job by y'all. Well, that
Great,
does give Brodie Smith the win.
that was the
'Cause
only one that made
Trevor
sense.
got net 1 point, and Brodie got 3 points there. So fantastic! Wow, that was a great little
We gotta start doing match play. I just got dragged.
ender there. Yeah, I was a little worried because I remembered after I described the rules that last year y'all got so good at it that I was giving y'all no information. You were just looking at the picture and just sending the rating. That's how the game devolved into last year.
Yeah.
But great start this year because it was all over the place.
Oh, we got
Yeah,
some
you
tricksters now.
you
We got some
catfished us.
tricksters.
I didn't do anything. People just sent me
They're
what they sent me.
catfish. Ridiculous.
But I got some videos too that we can get into in the future.
Have
so-
that MA3 Power Pocket guy send a video in.
Yeah. You know, let me
Yeah,
see if
if
I have
you're-
a video from him.
if you're
what was his
watching,
name? His name was
man.
Corbin.
Yeah, we need to see what Corbin looks like when he's actually throwing,
I
because
need
maybe
to
he's got
know.
some.
Oh, I do have a
wild-
video.
Oh
I do have
my
a video.
gosh.
Let me download this.
He
Okay,
might have a
let me watch
wild
it.
movement.
Let me watch it real quick and just see what happens, and then if it's worthy, I'll send it to Sai. Well, will it break the computer, Sai?
He said no.
Okay.
He hasn't worked up the courage to plug his mic back in. Sals is about
One step at a
2
time.
minutes away from throwing something.
Silas, I'm gonna just throw it into I'm gonna throw this video into that Google Drive folder. And then we can just, once it's ready, just stop the show and throw it up. It's the one that's just titled video.move. It doesn't have the IMG.
Video.move.
Video.mov. So when that's ready, we can throw it up. But we wanted to now, rest of the show real quick, talk a little Imposter Disc Golf Reality Series Season 2. So episodes 1 and 2 are in the books. This is your time. If you haven't listened or you haven't watched those 2 episodes yet, this is your time. I'm about to spoil them. I'm about to talk about them. That's your warning. Here we go. So episode 1, we had the team miss the line, although it was close, and vote out Bear Bite. Episode 2, we had the team.
Oh,
Here's the video. Here's the video.
This might
Corbin.
be from.
He's
This might be
got-
actually.
he's
from
an
the-
athlete. This guy's an athlete. He's got
Okay, how is this? How is this
Wait
guy
though.
not?
Wait though.
Oh!
Ace, baby. Let's go, Corbin.
How is this guy not over 900?
His form
I'm imagining that his
was a
form
little
must
wacky.
be a new development.
Well, his form is a little bit wacky, but it's still much better than. Yeah, it's good.
That
Like
should be over 900.
he gets through the
guys.
pocket smoothly for sure.
I'm wondering if he's like his rating hasn't caught up to where he's at right now.
Okay.
something.
That's my line of thought. Is he's an
Bizarre.
athlete? He got good at disc golf just recently. His rating hasn't caught up.
He's
yet.
got enough power that he can just hyzer spike everything.
You would think. Well, who knows?
The college disc
Corbin,
golf.
if you're listening,
depressing.
comment or send us an email and let me know why
Why
your
you're
rating
bad.
is what it is. Yeah. Maybe we can help.
Why
Maybe we
are
can
you
help.
bad?
Why
But,
are you bad?
Okay, episode 2 was the greatest round of Imposter Disc Golf I think that's ever been played, absolutely annihilating the line.
Mhm.
And Gary Daddario got sent home. The people's pick got sent home. And that's where we're at. So then episode 3 drops tomorrow. So gentlemen, contestants, both of y'all lived through the first 2 episodes. Obviously have different perspective than me because y'all got to play in them. Where were your heads at kind of going into day 3? What, like, watching it back, is there anything that you like didn't realize someone had said, or is there more context that changed the way you thought about a situation? Or give me your thoughts. What do you think in episodes
No.
1 and 2?
I think the episodes obviously paint one picture. Sometimes, anytime you're doing anything kind of reality, like you're like, oh, maybe they missed some things. But I think episodes 1 and 2 are kind of business as usual with the imposter, where early in the game, there's so many people left that you don't have a ton of info and you're trying to make decisions a lot of times that are best for the team. And I think that's kind of what happened in episode 1. Episode 2 was interesting because the Gary vote for a lot of players was founded on, I mean, you saw people like kind of bringing up questions, Jay Milley bringing up questions about his decision making, me kind of targeting him in round 1 even. So the Gary making a like targeted guess this early in the show is something that didn't really happen last year. And I think that is a big difference. Whereas like, yeah, like, everybody at the table clearly, feels a certain way about that guess. Whereas the first one was maybe like okay, we need to have consistency, hit line. Second guess is like, hey, this could be an imposter threat here. So I think that, it's the first 2 episodes are pretty smooth sailing, but I think it is interesting that the second guess right away is like a pretty founded guess among the contestants. If you watch to the end and you see what's coming in episode 3, though, the next couple episodes are anything but smooth sailing.
Well, let me go back. So because what play wise, one thing that I found somewhat interesting on the ground, but I think it is even more highlighted in the video, was if you go episode 1, we obviously have Grant missing putts.
So many.
Right? Episode 2, like Gary, really episode 1, he had the one shot that he yanked into the woods on that hole that was kind of a blow up hole going on. Outside of that, he might have missed a putt or
Missed
two.
Missed a couple putts.
Yeah. And then he hit a few putts as well though. So he kind of like didn't play great, but he wasn't really a huge liability out there, at least from my eyes, on episode 1. Episode 2, he did not play great. But y'all as a team kept putting him in positions to execute shots versus Grant, who didn't play good episode 1. Y'all didn't give him a chance to mess up. Was that ever like something that crossed your mind of like, hey, this like, what if Grant, is messing with us and we're not giving him the chance? Like, why did you protect Grant and you didn't protect Gary?
We weren't protecting Grant. We were protecting our team, and people forget that the lines are first priority. You lose a ton of money when we lose the line, and so but
late in the round,
people were
in the round, y'all are up by 9 or 10, and you're still choosing Grant as the layup.
At that point, didn't matter though,
because now there's no more pressure, anyways.
Okay,
I think a lot of things people are misreading also though. That Gary on last year's show was a very good player, so we were throwing Gary into shots that we believed he could execute. He happened to play pretty bad in these episodes. And so I think some people are getting the wrong idea of like, why are you just letting Grant do one thing and Gary the other? Well, like we actually thought Gary had the best chance. And yeah, the only thought process was hit the line.
So some people, it seemed the voting came down to a lot of people were holding whole, 15s. He shot against Gary.
Mm-hmm.
But by the line of logic y'all just used,
it's already decided.
Why does that shot matter at all?
No,
or did it not matter to y'all?
So, I don't think it mattered to me.
Yeah,
no, my mind on Gary was made up in episode 1.
Yeah,
you were voting Gary no matter what.
Yeah, episode 1, when he threw that shot into the woods on the right, my mind was made up there.
I've never seen him. Yeah, so basically, this is where it's tough because, I think in future episodes, you're probably going to see more of us having that talk before the vote.
Right.
And one of the reasons why you guys didn't really see that much episode 1 and episode 2 is because there wasn't really any, it wouldn't have not added anything. Everyone was pretty made up on Bear Bite for episode 1. Episode 2, everyone was pretty made up on Gary.
Well, it was just very quiet too. People weren't willing to discuss their votes because they didn't feel like they had to sort through it. So really the only reason people are going to discuss a vote in the room is if they feel like I need to get a feel for where the room is so I can be on the right side of history here and make sure that the votes aren't coming after me. And because so many people were certain of their votes in the first 2 episodes, it just was dead silent. I mean,
yeah, and I think going into episode 3, there's a lot more questions from people.
So much more.
Where I believe episode 2, going into that vote, I think Gary did say something before the vote I think maybe Grant even said something before the vote, but people weren't really asking questions. People weren't saying, hey, why'd you do this? Whatever.
Yeah.
Because everyone was pretty much made up that they're going to vote for Gary. I think the stuff that's really, really hard with this show, and to kind of piggyback on Trevor's point, is there's so many people that in that first episode that played poorly, right? If you really go and look at it, almost everyone played bad. And so at that point, you're like, we need to try to eliminate people that are going to potentially just play bad, because that's going to kill us trying to get the line. And it's also just going to make it harder to tell, like, are they actually the imposter, or are they just bad? You can't differentiate. Now, the problem with Gary is, had Gary not played last season and none of us had seen his game, I think Gary probably still would have made it after round 2. But the problem is, Gary was one of the better players last season.
Yeah, your reputation always follows you onto that show.
Right? And so
for everybody.
And if I would have played bad the first round, I think I probably would have gotten some votes, right? So it's like it's really, really tough, because a lot of this show comes down to how well you play and not really anything else. And Gary unfortunately didn't play that well. He had like one shot. Obviously, the big shot in round 2 that pretty much sealed the deal was the thumber over the bushes.
Yes.
Yeah. I know people, he was trying to make it sound like that was a really hard shot. Other people were claiming like, oh, it was only 25 feet. It's not that bad. That hole, anything left and long, you should not have a putt at the basket, because there's all those trees right there. So everything we were telling Gary was just be short, give myself a 40-footer, a 50-footer that's open, because at least I have a chance to make that putt, where we all knew if you went long, you had nothing. And we just got really lucky that A, it hit something and fell down, or else that it was going to be like another 50 feet deeper than where it was. And B, that I had a window, a very small window, to actually even make that putt. So that was the one where it's like, okay, what's going on here? That seems like a weird kind of shot to throw. And yeah, to answer the question about why didn't we have Grant do stuff, we didn't have Carlos do anything either. Like you're putting in that situation, we don't get that many opportunities to put players that are bottom of the totem pole in spots to where they really can't hurt us. And that's what we did. And that's one of the reasons why I think we smashed that line, is our best players played really well and our bottom players weren't in positions to hurt us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I like from a production standpoint, obviously in the edit, we know the whole story. So we obviously already knew editing episode 1, Gary was going home episode 2, but we also knew that going into round 2, because the parts that we cut out of the episode 1 interviews, or pretty much everyone sat down and was like, we're voting Bear Bite today, we're voting Gary tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of like, after day 1, that was kind of the unanimous decision, to where like, obviously we trimmed that, because if you're watching the show, it wouldn't be fun to just know, like, going into round 2, you legitimately would have known, like, there was nothing Gary could have done, it almost felt like, to make people not vote for him because of round 1. But that was something where, watching it happen, it almost did feel like I felt a little bad for Gary, from the standpoint of, I don't know how much of that pressure he knew was on him, and how much, like, I don't know what he could feel and what he couldn't feel. But every shot I knew watching him was like, if he doesn't put this under the basket, people were looking for something to hang on to. And I think that's where, like, the thumber shot, I didn't go stand next to him. Obviously, he claims he's in thorn bushes, all of that. I don't know how easy that shot was, how hard it was. I don't know. But I did know the second it came out of his hand and went deep at all, I, like, told Connor off camera, I was like, Gary just went home.
The bottom line is,
now there's nothing he can do. Like, everyone was looking for one final thing of being like, I'm sending this guy home. And I was like, he messed up there. He's gone. So now it's just like, okay, let's get through this round, see if they hit the line, and then we'll go from there.
The bottom line is, there's going to be a vote, especially early when there's so many people that you could never hope to have a no vote. So because there's going to be a vote and everybody knows there's going to be a vote, you're desperately looking for a reason to justify a vote, not only because it gives you conscious of being like, okay, this could be a productive vote, and you'll find out later in the season whether or not our vote was productive. But you have that thought, but also it creates unity amongst a block where you can go to somebody and have a reason to collude a little bit, right? If I just go to you and I just try to pin something that doesn't really exist on Gary, you're going to be like, what the heck? But if I'm like, hey, what'd you think of that shot? And then you can be like, yeah. And then we can go to the third guy and go, yeah. And then all of a sudden you have the whole group and everybody can mesh easier on that vote. So it is, yeah, you cannot play below your expected ability in Imposter. You cannot do it. There's not much forgiveness there.
Which I do think one thing that, funny enough, ended up helping Grant, in my opinion, which wasn't a big part of the show, but you saw glimpses of it, was the nighttime putting challenge. Because in day one, obviously, Falling Creek, you got to see a little bit of people's skills in that like visionary skills challenge, but then you get out on the course and Grant obviously is missing a bunch of putts, and you have no idea how good of a putter someone is. But then at 2 a.m., like we were legitimately there until 3 something. Like it took a little bit over an hour, and it came down to really Grant and Bear Bite, which at that time everyone knew they were voting Bear Bite. But I think that there was like conversations coming back from the warehouse of like, guys, Grant's legitimately a bad putter, because like it took him an hour to make. And the other thing that isn't in the show is we moved it forward every like 30 minutes. We moved it from a 20-footer to like an 18-footer to like a 15-footer. So that by the time that he made him, I think he was at 15 or something. So I do think that also, like, having the context of that, I already knew that almost earned Grant trust. Maybe whether it should have or shouldn't, you can decide at home, but that almost earned Grant trust. So people were just like, oh, he was trying, he was just missing putts. Could have just been a big brain play in the warehouse of like, hey, I'll sacrifice 30 minutes of sleep.
You have that awareness. If you got that awareness, it's crazy.
I knew he was not a good putter because I was kind of in and out of sleeping, because it's kind of tough to go back to sleep when you just hear discs slamming into stuff.
That was the goal, yeah.
So I knew though, because I could overhear sometimes talking about putting multiple discs at once. So when there was like hey, if I just putt 5 at once and I make all 5, I'm starting at. And when that started happening, I was like, okay, you're trying to gamify, trying to make 10 putts from like 15 feet. You probably don't have the confidence in the putting.
Yeah. That was a fun hour I was over at the warehouse, hour and a half, whatever it ended up being. But the other thing too to mention is one thing we learned, because obviously we stepped up to production on all fronts this year, but one thing we did is putting everyone in a house, and we basically told them, hey, if there's a conversation going on, have a GoPro. So we got a lot of GoPros footage that we honestly haven't used a ton of. We've used glimpses of it because a lot of the conversations aren't that interesting at this point in the show. But we had car talks and we had the overnight talks and stuff. But essentially, I think what that did is it eliminated a lot of the table talk. Because before last season, pretty much any time everyone was together, they were on camera. And so you were like morning, like last year, what we did is you filmed in the morning.
Except for all the guys that were in the Airbnb together.
Except for the Airbnb group. Yes, yeah. That was why we switched the Airbnb. But last year, essentially what happened was morning film, vote, all ate lunch together, afternoon film, vote. That was the day. So we filmed it in 3 days. It was 2 rounds, 2 rounds,
just
1
doing
round.
It all. Oh my god!
And so like there, any hashing out that happened, people weren't carpooling except for like 2 or 3 people. All of that. Versus this year, it was 1 round a day. The afternoons were free, so that people could collaborate on their own YouTube channels and stuff to make it worth their time coming out. Everyone was carpooling, so everyone was kind of in like 2 cars essentially, and then we kind of had the production car, which is just my truck with everyone else in it. And then obviously y'all were all staying in the Airbnb. So by the time it came to voting, it was so much different of a feeling. Because last year, like I was thinking when I was planning this year, I need to give so much time in that room because everyone's got to hash everything out. And then I would be down there and the room was just kind of like quiet because everyone had already hashed everything out. And to Trevor's point of like, last year you would start hearing people talk and then out of nowhere, like Gary might have realized everyone's looking at me. What the heck? I need to give a defense versus this year, everyone just sat down and I think the rest of the room knew they were voting Gary. And so Gary was just kind of like, he probably knew at that point he was going home, but it also was like a uphill battle. Same with Bear Bite. I don't know if Bear Bite knew he was going home, but it was an uphill battle for them because like all the conversations had happened and people walked into that room like, I'm ready to cast my vote instead of walking in like we need to discuss this. I don't know who I'm voting for.
Well, also because we had our second choice of Airbnb location, we had long car rides every day after the rounds. So like, it's not like you had 10 minutes, you had 30 minutes to talk over things. So that's like the cars just became the spot to talk over things.
Yeah. And like I said, we got a lot of car footage, but most of it was like basically 2 or 3 guys had already talked, and it was just like, hey, Trevor, or hey, Grant, or hey, Jay Millie, whoever, like, this is kind of what we're thinking. Are you on the same page? Yeah, I'm on the same page. And it's like, well, that just ruins the whole voting
Right. It was just
portion of the
everybody
show. So we just
confirming
didn't
their
really use that
votes.
footage yet.
Yeah.
But I do think that was a big thing that changed this season versus last season. So, but yeah, we're at an interesting point in the show going into episode 3, because honestly, like, people are loving the show currently where we're at. And I think that that's awesome. Episode 2 is the worst episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no drama to be had in episode 2, right? Episode 1, you had at least the drama of the line. Y'all got really close to the line, and yeah, it was a pretty unanimous vote for Bear Bite, and I think even the audience kind of knew. And then episode 2, I think the audience was a little bit surprised by Gary, but as far as the on the grounds, there was no surprise to be had there, and the line, y'all absolutely crushed it. It was never even close. And so now the rest of the season, is where, when I kept saying this is the best pieces of content we've ever made, I was talking about episode 3, 4, 5. 1 and 2, I was like, let's just hopefully get people to the episode 3, 4, 5. So I'm very excited for y'all to see that. And hopefully that gave you a little insight into what people were thinking, production, why we did things we did. And then we'll, next week we can talk through episode 3 and get a little update, unless there's anything we didn't cover there y'all wanted to talk through with episode 1 and 2.
No, I'll throw a little, it's not necessarily a spoiler, but a little teaser. And one of the things that makes Imposter so interesting is we've all played werewolf before with people, or mafia, whatever you want to call it, where people don't really actually know the rules, right? It's very simple. If you're a townsperson and you're not a werewolf, you should be doing everything in your power to help the townspeople, right? And there's sometimes where someone will play the game, they don't know the rules, it's the first time, and they like don't help the townspeople for no reason. And when the game ends, you're like, why the heck were you doing that? And they're like, oh, we have a little bit of that coming. So stay tuned. That's gonna cause some fun for the episodes to come.
There you go. Yeah, because I guess the other twist we added this year was Carlos's role. Obviously, the assistant to the regional imposter, as he puts it. And yeah, I think that we had the idea of that, of just trying to add a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a spicy, because we didn't know. Literally, we thought the role. I was like, I don't know how anyone will play this, because it's either like, I'm gonna be the most obvious looking imposter, get my $150, walk home, or I'm just gonna kind of play it more subtly. But it's always the tempting part of, if it's a Joel moment of last year, where Joel has that 60-some foot putt, that there's no pressure if he makes it or misses it. No one's looking at him. No one expected him to make it. And it's like, if I miss this, there's $150 in my pocket. Well, that's going to sway him a little bit. That's kind of where the role came from. So I think it's been interesting to see, because what I didn't put was the emotional toll that you started to see Carlos kind of have in episode 2, where he's like, this is starting to weigh on me. And he like talked about the camera of like, I don't really know, because he would feel almost guilty if the line is being hit or not hit, of like, if the line, like episode 1, the line wasn't hit, no like fault of Carlos, but obviously he profited from that, and he kind of felt a little dirty about it to the rest of the team. So you started to see that a little bit of emotional toll. I felt that was a fun twist. I think we'll probably bring that back next year. We have a lot of fun twists for next year already planned, but yeah, that was something that we added this year that I think is a fun little side thing. That, yeah, we gave it to Carlos also because the rest of the people coming in, we knew in some way, shape, or form. A lot of them were from applications, but like Grant, for instance, I had like seen him on Instagram. He had helped with Tour Life before. Like we knew kind of what we were dealing with. Grant. Carlos was the guy that was a wild card. I had one video interview with him, and I was like, I don't know how good this guy is at disc golf. I don't know how good this guy's going to be on camera. I don't know anything. So let's just throw him into this role and just see what happens. And he ended up being great. So that was a fun little twist we added too. And then obviously letting the audience in on it. I thought it was good because we never peeled the curtain back onto like, here's the imposter or imposters or anything like that, because we want y'all to be able to play alongside them and be like, oh, they nailed it, Gary was one, or Bear Bite was for sure one, or what are they doing sending those people home, they're for sure innocent. But we did want a way of like giving y'all a little insight that no one else had. And so I thought that was a fun little twist we did this year too. So let us know what you thought of that and if we should bring that back next year. Obviously you can wait until you see episode 3, 4, 5 and how all of the different interactions and everything play out. But
and
yeah,
I think,
fun stuff.
I think this cast too, with the people coming in, made it to where we had no really clue who the imposter or imposters were, because there was talk about maybe multiple imposters this year. And that was because last year, obviously, once it was done, it was kind of clear, okay, Hunter picked Trevor because he wanted someone that he knew could do the job. Where this year, coming into it, there was some people being like, well, there's no chance that Trevor's the imposter, no chance that Hunter picked Trevor again. But there was like some conversation of some people believing that. And then there was other conversation of like, I think it might just be a wheel. Like, I think you just wheeled it and whoever landed on, that's who the imposter. So why are we saying that Trevor's not the imposter, right? And so there was a lot of that kind of going on in the first 2 episodes. I think we heard a little bit from some of the people being like, well, it's not Trevor because it can't be him twice in a row. But that gets brought up again about us trying to think who we think Hunter picked or who we think was random. And so that's also kind of like an outside the game interesting thing, of where you don't really know how the imposters are chosen, versus if we all went into it knowing it's just randomized, everyone has the same chance. So there's a little thought there behind that.
For sure. And that's, yeah, like we were talking actually a little before the show of ideas next year. And because one idea we've always had is like this year, the imposters team, everything was, we did spin the wheel. But we were like, how much do we let people know what we did and what we didn't do? Because like, it's the game, right? Like that's a part of the game, is you want people coming in where you have half the room thinking Hunter wouldn't pick Trevor twice. You have the other half of the room thinking, of course Hunter picked Trevor twice. And then you have other people being like, guys, I think it's random. It could be any one of us. And so I think that was one thing of like, well, is it more fun next year if everyone knows the process and they're a part of the process of it, like actually being fully random, full, like whatever it is. So we have some next year. We're gonna set this thing up again, but buckle up, 3, 4, 5, and we'll be here to break down episode 3 for you next week. So we're not gonna play. I have a game we'll do next week, where basically we have a few videos, and I want to try this game out. So come back next week to see it. Essentially, it's some putts, and we're gonna pause it right before it gets to the basket, and have Brodie and Trevor try to guess chain out or make. Is kind of the game we're going to play. But we're going to play that next week because we're going to wrap the show up here. I got one final story we'll read to end the show. Don't forget to use the link in the description down below to submit your stories, topics, all of that fun stuff. And because we're going to need them as we get deeper and deeper into the offseason. So this one's from Jack. He said, this past weekend I played in a tournament in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and had the biggest comeback and craziest ending to a tournament I've ever seen. I was 5 back of the leader going into the final round and fell to 7 back with 9 holes left. Over the next 9 holes, I proceeded to shoot 8 under par, including my first ever tournament ace. While this was happening, the leader threw a shot that was probably out of bounds, but a local park goer picked the disc up out of the pond and placed it back on the dry ground. The whole card came up and was in arms, with the leader saying it should be considered in because they never saw where it actually landed and came to rest. The other 2 players saying it was clearly soaked, so he had to be out of bounds. He threw a provisional, and we marked his score as a par. So we get to the last hole. And he was 2 shots back with an island of green looming. If the guy in the lead makes the island, he wins. If he doesn't, then he needs a birdie to push the playoff. He ends up missing the island and missing the drop zone putt. So he taps in the birdie to force the playoff. They call over the tournament director to get the opinion on the provisional that was called earlier. In the process, the guy he was tied with proceeded to submit a wrong scorecard. So it didn't even matter what the tournament director determined. He got assessed a 2-stroke penalty, and I ended up completing the largest comeback in my life in one of the most anticlimactic ways possible.
That's brutal.
Wow.
Wrong scorecard.
You're there talking like, was it in? Was it out? I don't know. What's
It
the
doesn't
rule?
matter.
And they just
that
submit
tournament director,
wrong scorecard.
he took a sigh of relief, being like, nope, here, fine, doesn't even matter.
What's crazy is, how do you submit a wrong scorecard in like the PDGA live era?
Because you have to
It's so
confirm
hard.
it.
It's so
But
hard.
that's what I'm saying. You have to confirm it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
like
Like you
Everybody-
submit, and then it like
everybody
will typically
must
tell
have
you
been.
like, oh, here's an error according to everyone else's.
Well, I guess maybe he was the only one keeping it or
Or
something.
maybe it's a situation, he didn't give the detail here, but maybe he submitted the scorecard and the tournament director hadn't made the provisional ruling yet. So therefore, it's like, you submitted it without my ruling. That's incorrect scorecard.
Yeah,
2 penalty. I don't know. Wild stuff, but hey,
somebody's mad.
worked in Jack's favor. So there you have it. That's the Offseason podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll be back next week and all offseason long to keep you entertained. We'll talk to you then.